Orale, Holmes, it's me, Little Hater. Hey, check it out, dog. This podcast is brought to you in part by Bow Down Clothing. That's right, dog. That's what I wear, Bow Down Clothing. So if you want to look like a chulo vato, a cholo vato, a firme vato, dog, get yourself some Bow Down Clothing.
What it is. Podcast.
Anyways, other things in the story that kind of wanted to talk about is Netflix. What's going on with Netflix, right? I told you guys a while back ago that I was not only was I going to change it up with the podcast and stuff, but I was going to start making everybody financially successful and start making people money. And I think it's time we start backing that up, man. You know what? Right now it's an opportunity where the stock market is a little volatile, and all these things are going. All these people are losing money, and Netflix dropped, I think, 60%. Right? Netflix is dropping, and it seems like Netflix is having problems. There's two things you could do. You could think about investing on Netflix or a company like Netflix. But Netflix seems like it's gonna tank. It seems like it might run into a similar situation as Blockbuster did. And I started thinking, why? And I'm gonna tell you why. Because Netflix sucks, in my opinion. That's right, it sucks. And it's not only Netflix that sucks; it's all these streaming platforms that suck. It's Hulu sucks, Disney Plus sucks, right? In my opinion, Amazon definitely sucks, and I've never had Showtime nor HBO. I hear HBO is kind of good, but these streaming services, man, everybody's competing amongst one another, and every streaming service only has about one good show that people have, and those are the shows that everybody watches. And because Netflix is not delivering good quality programming, right? It's tanking, because nobody wants to pay $10 a month for stuff that you've seen 4 years ago. You go on Netflix, and it's like what? It's like they're still promoting Breaking Bad. Yeah, I saw that 10 years ago. You're promoting Blow. I saw that already. Tiger King. Yeah, okay. That was 2 years ago. Right? They have all these things, man. Inventing Anna. I thought it was going to be a good show. And it was for the first 2 episodes. Then it sucked. And I was like, man, this is trash. But, I ended up watching it because I wanted to see how it would end. Right? Bad Vegan. Somewhat interesting premise. It sucked as well. Tinder Swindler. It was actually a really good show. Very well produced. That was good. Recently started getting into what is it called? How to Make a Murder or something. That the Avery story from like 7 years ago. Because I finally said, you know what? I'm gonna dive in there and see what's going on. It was interesting at the time. Now it's like whatever. I'm like, so I find myself struggling to watch good programming on Netflix. And now Netflix is thinking like, why are we not profitable? I'll tell you why, Netflix. You gotta change 2 things. You gotta up the game in programming, good quality programming that people wanna see, right? Right now they're pushing Selling Sunset. Why the hell do I care about Selling Sunset? Rich people trying to buy rich people properties. That has nothing to do with me. I'm in a different socioeconomical bracket. All your viewers are in a different socioeconomical bracket. It's like you get people that they're a little bit above the poverty line or middle class or just above it. And you want to see people that are financially well off, rich, wealthy people just spending money and living glorious and lavishly. Who wants to see that? I think what was it 10 years ago when The Hills came out? It was interesting because they were all young teenagers doing dumb things. But now your common demographic of people that have Netflix are like 30 or 40 years old. And many people have moved on to different platforms, streaming services. And right now, with your Spotify, with your YouTube, and everyone's their own social creator, and everyone creates their own content, makes you, and it's free, by the way. You're thinking you can still compete in a market where you're charging people for a service and you're not delivering optimal programming? It's not going to happen. I seen some interesting YouTubers with some content out there, and they get thousands of views, sometimes hundreds of thousands of views. And if you're like a big channel like Mr. Beast or Joe Rogan, you get millions of views. That's what people want to see. People want to see podcasts. People want to be entertained. People want to be in touch with a comment person. And Netflix is pushing something that people do not no longer care about. And they keep on passing reruns and reruns and reruns. And there's certain things that I can't comment on about the programming, how they're trying to specifically tailor content that nobody wants to watch. And they're wondering why are we failing? And then they say, oh, it's because people are sharing their passwords. True, that might be it. Right? But if $10 a month is breaking you, it has to be something else. I mean, you have to get creative with it. So that's one thing about Netflix that's wrong with Netflix. It's the program sucks. The other thing that Netflix needs to do is evaluate how much revenue is getting spent by the upper ups. How much are you paying your CEOs? You know, how are you paying them? 10 million bonus a year, 20 million? It's like all these CEOs are overly paid, man. Overly compensated. Way overpaid. And then and the people, you know, that the stockholders, right? They're like, eventually they can't turn a profit, so they end up bouncing. They're like, look, man, I'm just gonna throw this out as an example. I have $10,000 on Netflix. And I would hope that if I have 10,000, maybe I can make 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, right? But I don't see that stock climbing, and it's just stagnant. It's just moving, you know, laterally. I'm not gonna hold on to that stock for another 10 years and not have it move. I much rather invest in Google or Amazon, something that's gonna split and has the potential to make me a profit within the near future. I'm gonna start investing in EVs, electrical vehicles, right? Because that's where the market's going. Why are people gonna invest in Netflix? It's not going anywhere, Netflix. Your programming sucks. Just like Hulu sucks, Amazon sucks. And why does it suck? Because everyone pulled their own thing and just wants to like run the ball on their own. And they haven't figured out a way how to make it work. Instead of everyone working together to figure out a solution, everyone's like, nope. But it's not bad 100% of the time, right? Because this is, to my understanding, this is how it works. Netflix will buy programming or rent programming for a certain amount of time. Hey, you know what? Let me get Seinfeld for 2-3 years. We'll pay X amount of money, and then they'll hold it. And hopefully they could generate people to come and watch them, right? And they lend these shows to one another and stuff like that. And that's the way it's going, right? But it doesn't seem like it's going well for anybody. And they're hiking up every year. It almost seems like either Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, they're like, oh, it's the same programming. It's like you're not getting like HD or any upgrades or whatever, right? Or instead of getting like discounts or whatever, right? Or reward programs for people that've been with them for so long. Instead of that, guess what? You have to pay $1 more every year, right? But the upper ups, they're profitable nonstop. And then you're wondering why your profits are going down and they're tanking. Netflix, you gotta get your act together, man. Hey, right now is the time to start looking into your financial health, your investing opportunities, and see what you want to do, man. Look, it's 10 years from now. when you look down the road and you see that you're not in a different position in life, you're already 50, you're already 60, and you have no money for retirement, what are you going to do? You're going to wish that you would have got started 10 years ago. The time is now. You got to start thinking about your future. You got to start thinking about investment. You got to start thinking of what you got to do. Netflix, I don't know what to tell you, man. Look, man, Netflix is going to keep on going lower and lower and lower until something changes. I advise you guys to start looking into your financial stability. One thing that I do in order not to like take advantage of all these platforms and all these streaming services, and I'm not sure if I'm the only one that does. I'm pretty sure there's a couple people that do this too. I don't have just one platform streaming service at one time. So what I do is like I'll get Netflix for about a month, watch the one or two programs I want to watch, and then what I'll do is when I'm done with those programs, cancel it, and then I'll go to Hulu. I'll watch whatever program I want to watch for about a month, and then I'll cancel that, and then I'll jump onto Disney Plus when they have like a show that I like or a show that comes back for about a month. Watch that, and then jump off. So everybody's hurting for money, right? But what they don't tell you is that there's enough of this for everybody to go around. But the reason why there's a shortage of income and money and profit is because everybody on the top is just lining their pockets with feria, with money, and they're charging you, the consumer, and they're taking advantage of everybody. So I don't know, man. Maybe one of the good things to do right now is start looking at on canceling all your platform services. Because that, I'll be honest with you, with so many great options out there, with interesting YouTubers, interesting podcasts, Spotify, it's all free content, by the way. Why do you still have to pay for services that are not living up to expectations? I watch Joe Rogan all the time, a 3 hour long podcast, because I find him to be an interesting podcaster. He has he's well read, he has intelligent things to say, and he has good guests, and he's able to captivate your attention for up to 3 hours. Granted, some of these podcasters that try to copy his format and stuff like that, I think it's way too long what they try to do. But the point being is that there's so many options out there, right? And then you have your Michael Francis, right? He's got a good podcast. It's nonstop, and why would people pay for all these services? We have a guest. Hey, how you doing?
What's going on, homie?
Nothing much. I'm just ranting over here. Started with the Mike Tyson people getting down, and then we moved on to the financials. What's going on, brother? You want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, Cholo Trucker. I got a YouTube channel as well, man. I've been subscribed to your channel since I saw you. And was it on Bobby G's channel or Sonny? One of them had you on, man. So I've been checking you out since then. But I heard you talking about, yeah, I first jumped on because of the Mike Tyson thing. But I just heard you talking right now about these streamings, right?
The what?
Streaming, the Netflix, the Hulu.
Yes.
Yeah, all these. You know what I'm seeing a lot today now? You know how you're talking about that you don't have them all at once? What I'm seeing a lot today now is using other people's accounts. We do the same thing. You know, somebody in the family shares their account with us, gives us their passcode, and says, "Oh yeah, you could use it whenever you want." And we do the same. You know, whatever we get, we just throw it back to them. It's like, "Oh yeah, there's our passcodes to go ahead and use it." So while we don't pay for all these streaming apps and all, we do have. I don't know if I should say all of them, but we do have a lot of them just because we kind of share it with family.
Well, I see what you're saying. Like you'll have Netflix, your brother will have Hulu, and your
Mhm.
tia might, and you all inter swap, and that's how everybody shares.
Yeah.
That's kind of
Yeah.
okay. That makes total sense.
Yeah, so it's worked for us. And then I talked to a couple of people and they're like, "Oh yeah, yeah, we do the same thing." So um I don't know if that's growing or not. I just know that it's worked like that for me and a few gente that I know.
But what do you think about the actual like the actually quality of the programming? Like let's say like for Netflix, like do you think it's within the last 10 years that you had it, has it gone up in quality or has it gone down in quality with the programming? Like do you find more things that you could relate to and more things that you go watch or not so much?
Man, you know, I think um I think I could probably go without it to tell you the truth. Me myself personally, there's nothing that I can really think of to say like, man, I need this uh streaming app because I'm dedicated to this one show or this one programming. I can't think of anything like that. I know some certain things, certain even movies are now dedicated to one. There's that Tom Hanks movie called Greyhound. I've been wanting to watch it, but it's on Apple TV, and I don't have Apple TV. So, as far as the programming, I'll be honest with you, man. Me myself personally, I could probably go without it. It's just it's kind of like channel surfing to me. If I'm somewhat bored, I'll say like, well, let me see what's on Netflix. Let me just search around, look around. But there's nothing really that I'm dedicated to on that.
Do you have a Roku device?
I do.
Okay, like I have Roku, because
Mhm.
I'm like, oh, that would has like my YouTube and my Netflix, right? But
Mhm.
Roku has so many different great programs, and I forget all the time. And Roku is free. I mean, I bought the device, right, which cost me like $30, right? I have internet,
Mhm.
and it has so many great shows. And as a matter of fact, what I do when I want to like, there's a particular movie, like I've been trying to watch Gangster's Paradise, right? I just
Okay.
go to Roku and I find out who has it, and Roku will tell me, oh, this platform has it, and you could get it for $3.99.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
why do people need Netflix?
Right. Right. Yeah. We did that just the other day. Damn, I wish I could remember what movie I was looking for. Yeah, I just put it on the search and it showed me what platforms had it. Some were for free with the subscription, but then others, yeah, $3.99 if you want to purchase it or rent it for that session. And I was like, yeah, I mean that it works, man. You don't need to be paying for all this stuff every single month. I think it was an outlet, a different outlet outside of cable. But if you really think about it, you combine all these together a month, paying a month, is getting up there to pay just like for cable.
Yeah, so
So,
like for me, right? I pay for internet, I pay
mhm,
for cable, and then there's
mhm,
like three other subscriptions that I have to pay for. I'm like, nah, man, I'm not doing that no more. And and
yeah.
and, and I think that like Netflix already took a hit, and I
Mhm,
see that's the big one. And then Hulu's gonna take a hit. Disney's gonna, all of them are gonna start taking hits, and what they're gonna start to do is they're gonna start hiking their subscription to make up for the difference. But the CEOs ain't taking a pay cut. They're still
mhm,
gonna get their money, right? And it's
mhm.
like, why am I not gonna be paying when Roku is free, right? Voodoo. I don't know if you're familiar with Voodoo.
Voodoo,
Voodoo,
VUDU. Yeah.
yeah, they
Yes.
yeah. I have, that's also a great streaming service, and it's
Mhm,
free movies. It's got free shows. You could find a movie there, right? And not
mhm.
only that, but you could purchase them and they're there forever.
Mm.
right? Oh,
Yeah.
and then they have this awesome thing that you could actually get one of your old DVDs, right? And you scan it with your phone, right? As long as you have the barcode, and if it's
Okay.
available, you could purchase your own DVD for $2, and then you could watch it anywhere you want. So what I do, I just get all my favorite DVDs and I scan them in. So now I have them in digital format. So let's say if I end up going on a road trip, boom, I have all my services there. So it's
Is
like
one-
why yeah, try it out, man. Check it out. Yeah, man. Well, I'm kind of like a geek sometimes when it comes to stuff like that. I'm a movie guy, and yeah, so you could take your stuff. So why are people still going to be paying for these services, man? They're
Yeah.
they're they're not.
Yeah. Like I said, when I think when they first came into play, I think people were really loving them because it was something different than cable. It was like, hey, get rid of your, dump cable and no more cable and no more satellite and no more this, no more that. Look, just for $9.99 and stuff like that. And it seemed pretty cool, and I think it was. I think it was cool. But now you got so many of them, and you got shows and movies that are just dedicated to certain ones where it's like, well, I want to watch this show. Well, you can only find it on this streaming service. That is it. So now it's like almost kind of forcing you to get multiple. And if you add it all up, you're kind of just going back to paying cable. So, yeah, I mean, I don't want another cable bill. I thought this was supposed to be a way to get out of cable.
Kind of the way I see things happening with this like social media and YouTubing, podcasting, and all this. I see that there's going to be a shift. There's things that are happening. Look, right now there's a lot of social content creators. Like you have your TikTokers and your Instagram people, right?
Mhm.
And everybody's trying to be somebody, right? Everybody's trying to create and hopefully get monetized or be a movie star or whatever it is that they want to do with it, right? But I noticed that some of these people that are big on TikTok and Instagram and they're doing great suddenly get deactivated or they have to start a new account because things did not go their way. And then I'll be like, oh, this is the new account because Instagram decided to delete my account. And it's like,
Mhm.
how many hundreds of hours did you not put in to build an account to get 100,000 subscribers? And then you did one, you open you had a comment, an honest comment for whatever reason. And then, you know what, they flagged you because they didn't like what you said, whether it be COVID related or you
Yeah.
turned out that you don't like strawberries or whatever. And people took offense to it. And then you get demonetized or blocked, right?
Mhm.
So YouTube doesn't do that.
Mhm.
You have to like really mess up big time for YouTube to decide that they're gonna pull your channel. So, and not only that, but I'm thinking the way things are going, YouTube's not going anywhere. Google's not going anywhere.
Mhm.
I think that eventually what's gonna end up happening is YouTube is gonna end up acquiring not all, but some of these services from like whether it be um you know a Redbox or whether it be a Netflix or something else. I think it might end up happening. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a definitely that's an interesting point. I've never really been on any other social media platform, so I don't really know how terrible they are with censorship. Um, I know YouTube does have its censorship, but for the most part, yeah, it's not that bad. I see a couple people get pretty hot headed about it and even bash YouTube, and I'm like,
Give me one second.
you're on YouTube bashing YouTube. If I can ask you real quick, is that a
Damn,
green
bro.
screen?
What's up?
If I can ask you real quick, is that a green screen or is that a picture you got in the back?
No, it's a background. It's a
Okay, but it's not a
background.
green screen?
No, it's a background.
Okay, got you. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I know some people get pretty upset at YouTube and they bash YouTube on YouTube. And I'm like, Okay, well now you're not doing yourself a good service, you know.
But
Like I
why
said,
would they get mad at YouTube? What would YouTube do? Like, I don't get it.
I don't know. I've never really, there is some censorship, but I don't really see it that big of an issue. I haven't had that big of an issue. I know when I wanted to talk about COVID and the vaccine, certain videos would never go through, and I'm like, well, okay, there it is, but I wouldn't come on and bash the platform that I'm actually on because I'm on the platform. So, there's that. And like I said, I haven't been on any other social media platforms doing this. So I don't know how bad it is anywhere else.
Yeah, it's tricky, man. I think tough times are coming for everybody that's in social media creating and developers and stuff like that. I think I've heard people saying that there's a drop in numbers, and there's gonna be hurting in the streets for what this is. Us content creators are gonna go through some time right now because there's changes that are being made. But hey, why don't we talk about your channel, man? You're a fellow podcast YouTuber, and you have your own channel, right? You want to let us know a little bit about your channel?
Yeah. Cholo Trucker. That's the name of the channel. Yeah, man. I just obviously I'm a truck driver. I'm actually in a hotel right now. I'm over here at State Line between California and Nevada. But I just do so much on my channel. There's really no real subject to my channel. I just do me. If I'm trucking and I want to record, I'll record. Um, I talk some boxing, I talk some wrestling, movies. I do some music reactions. There's just so much that I do on the channel. It's called Cholo Trucker because when I first started the channel, um, I was trucking while I was talking, but I had the phone position in a spot where I kind of got popped, and DOT, Department of Transportation, said like, "Hey, you can't have the camera right there while you're driving. You got to have it more towards the side of you." So a lot of those videos I had to take down, but and then I just kind of realized like, hey, it was cool to kind of to do it at home as well, and it just grew, man. It just grew. So my channel, what's it about? I can't even really tell you. I guess just me, just just me. I there's really nothing I could really say what it's about. So, but
Yeah, but you have like quite a nice following, right? You have like a couple of thousand subscribers, right?
yeah, um, I think I got about 4,500 subscribers. Um, it's a lot of people want the subscribers, and I get it. Um, but the views, right? If you got 10,000 subscribers and your videos are only getting, 30 views, that your subscribers are not meeting the views that your videos are getting. And I never look at my channel as small channel or big channel. I know there's um, channels that would like to have the following that I have, and then I know there's channels bigger that look down on the following that I have. So I just kind of do my thing, and that's that, man. The subscribers go up, it goes up. I highly appreciate it. The views, some of my videos only get about 30 views. But at the same time, there's some, YouTubers out there that would love to have 30 views. So I don't look at it that way. I leave those videos up and I'm like, hey, I'm just gonna keep doing it just because I love to do it. I like to do it. I grown to appreciate and like doing this. So if I get one view or 1,000 views, it's obviously I'm not gonna lie, man. It feels better to get a lot of views and a lot of feedback. Yes. but ultimately I do it because I like it.
Yeah, and that's the number one consensus that people say that you should be doing it because you like it. And I'll be honest with you,
Mm.
that's the number one reason why I do it. And but it definitely everyone's trying to get over the hurdle, you know, and
Yeah.
and I think that once you get over the hurdle, then it's gonna be like a lot easier for it to be like, okay, fine, I did it. You know,
Mm.
that's like everybody has a goal. Everybody kind of pays attention to numbers and stuff like that. For me, it's just like I just kind of like I set out to prove something to myself
Mm.
to see if it could be done, right? And
Mm.
I'm so close to getting there, and I just want to get over it and be like just prove to myself that yes, I was able to do it. And then after that it's kind of like whatever happens happens, right? But I think
Yeah.
you have, like you said, it's because you enjoy doing it and stuff like that. For me, what it's always been about is helping people. It's always
Mm.
been about helping people, whether it be helping somebody grow mentally, physically, financially, promoting other people, comedians, stuff like that. Having a good time, joking around. That's what my thing is. And then entertaining people. That's kind of like what I try to provide in my channel.
And that's cool, and that's a good thing. I've come to do that as well. When I first got on YouTube, my mentality was kind of different. But I learned what brings me more peace and more satisfaction. And YouTube has actually helped me to change to the man that I am today, man. And that's really the real reason why I got on YouTube. And it was only supposed to be for a year. And I did leave YouTube, but then I linked up with a couple of other guys and good dudes. And I was like, you know what? I did enjoy doing it. So I left YouTube for about 3 months, and then I did come back. And from then, it just kind of grew. And you're right. You do want to get over the hurdle, and you do want to get recognized and at least appreciated at least a little bit because it is time consuming. Even though you do enjoy it, it is time consuming. It takes time out of your day. It takes time, from if you got kids, if you got a wife, or you got whatever it may be. Yes, you enjoy doing it, but you're taking time away from your day to do it. So you do want to get recognized. So I don't want to make it seem like, oh man, I don't care if nobody watches. No, you do care. I do care. It is time consuming, and it does take time out of your day, time away from your loved ones, and stuff like that. So it does feel good to be compensated, whether you get paid or whether people just give you great feedback or just feedback and just comments, and you can go back and forth and things of that nature. So absolutely, man.
Yeah, and it definitely feels good when you have like a good interaction or like a good like guest that kind of like changes your perspective on certain things, right? Like you could get into
Mm.
like an intellectual debate or disagreement on a particular topic, and then be like, wow, he made me look at something a little bit different, and a little bit more understanding. And at in the end, it's like, I guess we're all trying to create something and kind of grow, from like life experiences and stuff. And then the end of the day, if you're able to have like a solid podcast that you did something similar to that, it's somewhat satisfying. You're like, wow, I did something good, or we did something good.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely, man. So, I really hope you get over the hurdle, man, and you can start making some moves, man. Like I said, I first saw you when you're being interviewed for somebody else. Can't remember who it is at the moment, but I was like, all right, I'll subscribe, man. And then I saw you doing the dude with the mustache and stuff like that, man. And I'm like, okay, all right, man. I could rock with this, man. Lil Hater, I think it is,
Yeah,
man.
little hater. He goes out there and he does fun stuff, man. I have no control over that guy. Like people think like, oh yeah, I'm like, no, I don't control him. So
Yeah.
it's interesting to see what happens. And then sometimes when I go back and I look at his episodes, I'll be like, damn. I'm like,
Mm,
it's even entertaining for me. And I started laughing. It's because I don't. It's like somebody else completely.
yeah. Yeah, man. But with that, I'm gonna tap out, man. Gracias for having me on, brother.
Oh,
I
thank you for jumping
appreciate
in,
it.
man.
And I'm watching. You all caught up with The Walking Dead?
No, I'm still working with the last season.
Okay.
I ended up mid season. I haven't watched it when they came back yet.
Okay. All right. All right. I'm all caught up, man. There's one left. One, you know, it's what part three of the final season is gonna be this fall. So I'm ready for the show to end, man. I'm ready for the damn show to end. It's been so dang long. So
Hey man, well if you wanna if you wanna like do a podcast and we could just talk about I have to catch up so we could be in the
mm,
same we could just do a Walking Dead podcast and just talk about what you liked about the show, what you didn't like about the show, characters that you think should have died sooner, characters that you don't believe should have been killed, and we could just do a podcast like that, man. If you're up for it.
yeah, man. Yeah, hit me up, man. Email me, the Cholo Trucker at yahoo.com, brother.
Okay, I'll do that.
Maybe we could link up on that, man. But I think the show has ran way too long, but I stuck with it just because I want to see how it ends. It's been kind of torturous, man. It's a good show, but it's ran its course way too long. But I've watched every damn episode
I hear
just
that.
to see how it ends, man. Hey, but with that, man, I'm gonna tap out again. Have a good night, man, and I really hope you get over that hump, brother, so you can
All right.
keep doing your thing, man. All right.
Thank you so much, brother. All right, talk to you later.